The thing that almost stopped me from building my business was the same thing that made me successful. I only had 20 hours a week. I could only work while my kids are at school. That's 5 hours a day for 4 days a week. Right? That is not a lot to work with. As a military spouse with 3 young boys, constant moves, and an unpredictable life, I couldn't follow the hustle until you burn out advice everyone was giving me. So I created my own rules. 3 simple rules that took me from making $2,000 a month as a content creator to running a $25,000 a month business. And the best part? These rules work even better if you're busier than I am. Hi, I'm Allison Tolman. I've been a client of Authority.io and used their method to build my online business. I now am a lead coach inside the business. Before we dig into the strategy, we have an ebook called 10x Your Impact and Income that shows you exactly how to structure your time and prioritize what actually moves the needle in your business. Comment, give me the guide below, and I'll send you the link to download it directly. So let me paint you a picture of where I was 4 years ago. I was making about $2,000 a month as a YouTuber, half from ad revenue and half from affiliate marketing. And I was creating content about breast pumps because that's what the algorithm wanted. And that aligned with the expertise that I had in the past. We lived overseas at the time, so that worked for us. While we were living overseas, I was finally able to finish a major certification in my field, and we moved back to the States. Professionals in my field at that point start doing one-on-one consults, helping one mother at a time. My husband was still in the military, which meant potential deployments, lots of moves for us, and a life I couldn't control. I had a toddler and a 4-year-old at home and one in 2nd grade, and $2,000 a month wasn't enough to cover childcare for 2 children while I sold my time and expertise for pennies working with moms one-on-one. Before I even started, I looked at my situation and realized this isn't sustainable. I identified 4 major problems that I needed to solve. First, I needed to attract my ideal audience without 24/7 content creation or expensive ads. I couldn't be glued to my phone all day. I needed a way to reach people that didn't require me to be constantly on. Second, I only had 20 hours a week during school hours, and I wasn't willing to give up my family time to get more hours. So this was a non-negotiable for me. 3 kids, military spouse, and a life I actually wanted to live meant my business had to work within those constraints. So I needed to find a way to generate income without trading it for my time because I just didn't have any. Third, military life is unpredictable. We change locations a lot, and I'm usually the primary caregiver. Our life doesn't follow a normal schedule, and I needed a business system that still worked in any location and when everything else felt chaotic. And fourth, this one was huge. I needed balance in my time and my energy. As a mom, I cannot use all of my brain power in my 5-hour workday and have nothing left for my kids. There has to be balance. I couldn't just keep pushing and then be totally drained. That's not sustainable for me, and it's not the life I wanted. So those are my 4 main problems. Most people would look at those constraints and say, well, that does it. You shouldn't start a business. But I did it anyway, and I scaled it successfully. Here's how. It comes down to 3 rules that I follow religiously. And I'm going to be really tactical here because I don't want you to finish this video thinking, that sounds nice. I want you to know exactly what to do. Rule number 1, become an underthinker. This is actually something a fellow Authority.io client said to me at an event that we were at together, and I still laugh about it. She said, Allison, no offense, but you are a great underthinker. And I thought, what? Is that even a compliment? But here's what she meant. Instead of overthinking and always getting stuck in analysis paralysis, I work backwards from my goal to find the actual starting point. Here's how this plays out practically. Most people think, oh, I'm not making sales, so I need to focus on sales. Wrong. Sales are almost never the problem. The problem is something before that. Let me give you a real example. Say you're not making sales. Well, if you don't have anyone showing up on your calendar for sales calls, then you need to take a step back. That's a lead generation problem, not a sales problem. And if you're getting leads, but they're not the right fit, then you need to back up again. That's an ideal client clarity problem. Do you see how this works? Instead of just doing more content, more outreach, more hustling, more sales training, you work backwards to find the first domino that actually needs to fall. So how do you determine what that domino is? I use rule number 2, focus on your 20%. You've probably heard of the 80-20 principle. 20% of your actions produce 80% of your results. Here's what I do. I look at everything on my plate and ask, which 20% of these tasks will actually move my business forward? And unfortunately, if I'm being totally honest, it's usually the things that you're avoiding. The hard things, the uncomfortable conversations, the tasks that require real focus. It's so easy to stay busy doing stuff that feels productive, but actually doesn't matter. Tweaking your website, organizing your files, responding to every comment. For me, it's usually building beautiful spreadsheets and gathering my data. These things make you feel like a business owner without actually growing your business. But when you look at what drives results in a coaching business, it usually comes down to a few key activities. Having sales conversations with qualified prospects. Without sales, you have no business. Serving your current clients exceptionally well. Creating content that attracts your ideal audience. That's it. Everything else is secondary. So here's what I want you to do right now. Think about what you did yesterday. How many of those tasks actually fell into one of those 3 categories? Be honest with yourself. There's no judgment. Be honest. Because when you only have 20 hours a week to work with, like I do, you cannot waste time on busy work. Every hour has to count. And that brings me to rule number 3. Avoid the busy trap. Now, this is where a lot of people fall apart because it's one thing to know what you should be doing and another thing entirely to actually do it. I use strict time blocking, and I mean strict. I work Monday through Friday, 4 to 5 hours a day, only while my kids are at school or at their activities. That's it. No nights, no weekends, no just checking my email real quick. And within those hours, I batch smaller tasks together. I don't jump from client call to content creation to admin work. I batch my coaching calls on certain days. I batch my content creation days on others, like today. I have specific times for sales conversations. Here's why that matters. Every time you switch tasks, there's a mental cost. Your brain has to reset. And when you're trying to preserve brain space for your family or for your other things, for your life, you can't afford that constant switching. The busy trap that I see so many people fall into is thinking that busy means productive, but busy doesn't mean effective. You can spend all day responding to emails and feeling like you worked hard, but did you actually move your business forward? Probably not. So let's talk about how these 3 rules actually come together with the authority.io methodology that I use to grow my $25K a month business. When I was searching for a business model and a business coach to guide me through it, I searched pretty diligently. And when I finally landed on the authority.io methodology, it worked perfectly with my goals and solved the problems that I was trying to solve. So it was an easy no-brainer for me. First, I got really specific about who I help and the transformation that I offer. This was the first domino that I was missing. It gave me a better understanding of what my program should focus on. That meant my lead generation content completely changed. I went from making generic breast pump tutorials and reviews to speaking directly to the pain of my ideal customer and offering them the solution they were actually looking for. That meant my entire content strategy changed. Instead of what I was doing before, I started making one targeted video per week on YouTube. I love YouTube. I lost a few views and affiliate revenue, but I started getting the exact right person into my sales funnel. When I started the authority.io method, I actually already had 5 courses built that I hadn't launched yet. I really was kind of just looking for a way to sell them effectively, but that's not how this process works. I decided to lean in and trust someone who'd done this before and follow the steps. I ended up creating a brand new profitable offer prototype. Here's how mine worked. First, I did information gathering interviews with my ideal clients. I talked to 50 real people about their real problems, not what I thought they needed, what they actually told me they were struggling with. No selling, just discovering. It was really fun. After I had a much clearer picture of what my ideal client actually wanted from me, I pre-sold my program before I even built it. I know that sounds scary, but here's the truth. If you can't sell your idea, you probably shouldn't spend months building it. And I really loved that concept. Am I selling something that people actually want? So I sold my program to a small group, just 10 to 15 people initially. I built the curriculum week by week based on the real questions and challenges and feedback that they were giving me. This did 3 things. 1, it gave me immediate immediate cash flow. I didn't have to wait months to start earning. 2, it validated that my offer actually worked. I had real people getting real results in real time. And if they weren't, I could adjust things right there for maximum client success. And 3, it created an incredible program because it was built on the actual needs of my clients, not just my assumptions. Once I perfected my POP, I turned that into an evergreen program. The curriculum I built, it's delivered automatically. The community supports each other. My clients get results whether I'm having a heavy work week or barely touching my business because we're in the middle of a 2,000-mile relocation. This was revolutionary for me, because for the first time, I had a business that could handle my unpredictable life instead of falling apart every time things got chaotic or every time we moved to a new location. The best part about my business now is that it's a self-sustaining system. My content brings my ideal audience who become my clients. My clients give me feedback on how to improve the program. Their results give me the social proof and new ideas for fresh content. I'm not reinventing the wheel every time I do something new in my business. I'm making small, incremental changes that have a big impact. This business plan solved all 4 of the original problems I thought would hold me back. I don't need to be on social media 24/7 to attract clients. I had validation interviews and strategic outreach. I'm not wasting my 20 limited hours a week building something that might not work. I built exactly what paying clients told me they needed. The unpredictability of military life didn't matter as much because I delivered week by week, not trying to have everything perfect before I started. And I don't drain my brain space trying to figure out what to create. My clients literally tell me what they need, and I just have to organize and deliver it using my unique expertise. And this didn't just work for me. Nikki's program is in animal communication. She generated $205,000 this year while being 7.5 months pregnant and so sick she couldn't do anything extra. No social media, no outreach, nothing. Her system still supported her growth. Mike teaches independent restaurant owners how to run multi-restaurant operations efficiently. He made $89,000 in 3 weeks with his program launch, more than he made in 3 years with his best-selling Amazon books, which you should definitely read. They are awesome. And he still runs 12 restaurants while running his coaching business. Mike is my personal hero. This is what true business sustainability looks like. Not grinding until you burn out, but creating rhythms that actually work with your real life. All right, we've covered a lot. You understand the problems I face, the rules that I follow, the business plan that worked, and the lessons I learned. But none of that matters if you don't actually do something with it. So I want to give you a practical 30-day roadmap, not some vague, start thinking about your business advice. Real, actionable steps. Step 1, identify your number 1 goal. This is day 1. Sit down and get clear on your one main goal for the next 30 days. Not 3, not 5, 1. Is it to have 10 validation interviews with potential clients? Is it to make your first sale? Is it to decide on your exact client transformation? One goal, write it down. Put it somewhere that you'll see every single day. Step 2, work backwards to find your starting point. Once you have your goal, work backwards to find your actual starting point. If your goal is to make your first sale, what has to happen before that? Probably a sales conversation, right? And before that, somebody has to book a call with you. And before that, they have to know you exist and trust you enough to get on a call. Work all the way back to the very first action you need to take. That's your starting point. Don't try to do everything. Find that first domino. And step 3, prioritize ruthlessly. Using 80/20. Now look at everything you're currently doing or planning to do. Be really, really honest with yourself. What activities fall into that 20% that will produce 80% of your results? Put a star next to those. Everything else, either eliminate it, automate it, or delegate it. My 3 favorite things to do. I'm serious though. If you're not moving toward your goal, stop doing it. Yes, that means your Instagram might be less than perfect. Your website might not be completely finished. Your emails might not all be read, and that's okay because you're going to be making progress on what actually matters. Step 4, eliminate, automate, or delegate. Go through your task list one more time and ask yourself 3 questions for each item. Can I eliminate this entirely? Does it really need to be done? Can I automate this? Can a system do this for me? And can I delegate this? Can someone else do this? Only after you've asked those 3 questions should you keep something on your personal to-do list. Step 5, create time blocks. Finally, take your prioritized list of activities and assign them to specific time blocks in your calendar. If you only have 20 hours a week like me, you might allocate 5 hours to content creation and marketing, 5 hours to sales conversations, 5 hours for client delivery, 3 hours for business operations and planning, 2 hours for optimization and learning. The specific allocation doesn't matter as much as the fact that you're being really intentional about it. Every hour needs a job, and every job needs to serve a clear and essential purpose. I want to leave you with this. The biggest lie hustle culture tells us is that we need to work more to achieve more. But the truth is, we need to work better. My 20-hour-a-week constraint forced me to figure out what working better actually means. It means saying no to busy work. It means eating the frog every single day. It means working backwards from your goals instead of just throwing effort at the wall and hoping something sticks. And it means building a business with systems and structure instead of just winging it and hoping for the best. 4 years ago, I was making $2,000 a month and feeling stuck. Today, I've run a $750,000 business while being fully present with my 3 kids and supporting my husband in his military career. I've also become an international speaker, featured in the Washington Post, and become an expert in my field. And I'm telling you, if it's possible for me, it's possible for you too. If you're ready to build a business that fits your life instead of taking it over, grab our free ebook, 10x your impact and income. It's got everything you need to get started. Simply comment, give me the guide below, and I'll send it right over. And if you're ready to get your own online program launched, check out the video about everything you need to launch a coaching program in 2026. That's where we deep dive into the tactical implementation. I'll see you there.